Hello all, myself Madhvi Navarkar from Kekeva Polytechnic Nashik. Today we are going to see the topic string functions in SQL from the course Database Management. Before going to the SQL functions, we will see the learning outcomes of the topic. That is understanding the concept of function, then different types of functions in SQL and understand different string functions with example and syntax. Now we will see what is SQL function. SQL function is a sub-program of SQL or part of SQL which returns a single value. It is basically used to perform operations on the SQL expression. Means it is used to perform the operation on SQL queries. SQL functions work on different columns or attributes of a table. It returns a value as a result of the operation. The beauty of the function is that it is self-contained and so it can be embedded in any SQL expression. Means you can embed one function into another function. Now we will see different types of SQL function. There are basically two types. That is group function and scalar function. Group function. Group function means these are the functions that can be used to execute an operation on set of values. Means for this function, the input will be multiple rows. And the second type is scalar function. It is also called as single row function. As the name suggests, these functions work on single row or it can execute an operation on each row of a query. So these are the main two types. Now we will see the classification of scalar functions. It can be classified into four types. String function means it can take the input as string and give the output as a string or number. Then the second is numeric function. A number can be passed as a parameter and it returns also number. Third type is date function. It can accept date parameters. And fourth is conversion. It is basically working with respect to data type. Means it converts from one data type to another data type. Now the another concept is there, that is dual table. Now this is basically used for executing the SQL function when there is no any table present, which is not created by the user. There may be situation where we want to query or we want to execute something which is not from any table. Means there is no any table, but we want to evaluate, we want to perform something. Suppose in Oracle, the select statement must have a from clause because it is a necessity. However, some queries don't require any table. So in this case, the table which can be used is the dual table. Dual is a table which is automatically created by Oracle database along with the data dictionary. Dual is in the schema of system user, but it can be accessible by name dual to all the users. Means it can be accessible by everyone. The dual table has one column, that is dummy, which has the data type as varchar2 and it contains only one row with the value of x. For example, if we need to calculate 2 into 2, then we always use select 2 into 2 from the table name. But there is no any table because we have not stored that value. So for this purpose, we use this dual table as a dummy. Means if you don't have any table and if you want to evaluate something, then we can use the dual table. Now we will see the string functions. First function is init cap. The name only suggests init cap, that is initial letter should be capital. So it converts the first letter of a string to capital letter. The syntax is init cap into bracket string. String means it can be a single character or set of characters. So for example, select init cap rdbms from dual. So see, we have used the dual table because RDBMS is the user given value. There is no any table present. So we are using the dual table as a dummy for all the string functions. So for this, the output will be the first letter will be capital, means the R will be capital and the remaining will be as it is. Second is lower function, means it converts a string to lowercase characters or small case characters. The syntax is lower into bracket string. For example, select lower into bracket RDBMS from dual. So the output is RDBMS in small letters. Then the upper, it converts into uppercase. Syntax is again same, upper string. And example, select upper into bracket RDBMS from dual. The output is capital RDBMS. The next function is LTrim. Trim means to cut. So it trims or cuts the characters from left side of the string. The L stands for left side. The syntax is LTrim into bracket char comma set. Char means it is the input string from which you want to cut. And set means which set or which characters you want to cut from the input. So for example, select LTrim into bracket database comma data. Means database is your input string and data is the set which you want to trim. So in the output, the data is trimmed from the left side and whatever is remaining that will be displayed as an output. So the output is base. The next function is rtrim. R stands for right. So it will trim or cut the characters from the right side of the string. The syntax is same, rtrim char comma set. Char means the input string and set means the characters or the string which you want to cut from the right side. So in this case, see the example is given, that is select rtrim database comma base. So we have to trim base from this database from the right side. So here base has been trimmed and the remaining is data. So the output is data. So in this video, we have seen different string functions. Now we will see the remaining functions in the next video. Thank you.